Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Build Your Best Life. I'm Coach Deborah, and it is Thursday Live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good evening, Deacon Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Well, right now I want to stop and take this time out to say a quick prayer. I'm here in Florida, and as you know, those that are on the eastern part of the United States, southern eastern part, Hurricane Helene is heading our way. We don't know if it's going to hit land and what we're going to get. Right now it's a level 2, so we don't know if it's going to pick up or anything like that. But if you're on here, I know you're safe, so I am going to pray that each and every person is safe. There's no flooding, no wind damage, that you and your families are whole and safe If you live in an area that you know floods, I hope that you have gone to safety. And I ask God to cover each and every one of you through this time. Amen. Good evening, Mother Peacock. Thank you for tuning in. So we are still talking about Blueprint for Resources. We are near the end of September. Can you believe it? But that's where we are. So we have had some great topics this month, along with some great guests that have provided us with a wealth of information, some of that on mental health, buying homes, getting resources for all different types of things, different types of scholarships. So that's what it's all about. We all need help. That we are humans. Humans need to interact with others, and we all need help, and someone has been assigned to assist us. And we don't all know everything. So it is a good thing to find out who can provide those resources that we need. Right, Dan? And again, I do thank each and every one of you for your prayers. And I thank you for always liking, commenting, and sharing here on Build Your Best Life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now today, our topic is, can you see? Can you see? As you say, she's always coming up with these topics. Now, what is this one going to be about? But can you see? You know, sometimes things can be right in front of us and we can't see it. That's because we have certain expectations. We have things that we like. We have ways that we think things should go. And so if we don't see what it is that we think we should see, sometimes we don't see the bigger picture. So can you see? Can you see? Now, if you can't see it, how do you know you can't see it, right? That's like if you don't know, but you don't know, you don't know. So sometimes, again, you can't see it. And what does that mean? You can't see what's right there. You just can't see it. You can't go anywhere if you can't think that you can go there. So if it's somewhere, you can't just say, I sure would like to go to Alaska, but I can't go there. I'll never go there. Guess what? You probably won't ever. I want to go to Paris. I want to go to Amsterdam, but I can't. I want to go to China, but I don't speak Chinese, so I can't. If you think you can't, you won't. And this is the one I like a whole lot. You can't achieve it if you don't believe it. So just because you can't see it, that doesn't mean it can't be so. That's just like, your faith. A lot of times you can't see it, you don't know, but do you have that faith that it can be, that it will be? Hey, that makes it all right, and that makes it come to pass. So let's talk about some of these things that we may overlook or we don't see because we can't see. Can't see what we can't see. Now, a lot of times we expect all our kids to have A's and B's. Everybody's going to be an A and B student. I just finished saying everybody is not alike. Everybody is not going to be, and I'm going to say they're not going to be a letter A or a letter AB student, because guess what? They may just not test well. They may be brilliant. They may know everything, but when it comes to putting those thoughts down on paper, they just don't get it. Now, if you were to give them an oral exam, they probably would ace it each and every time. But unfortunately, everybody gets the same type test unless there is some special process in place for them because they have a certain disability or something. But for the most part, everyone gets the same type of testing. Everyone gets taught the same way. So that's what you're gonna have to, you have to expect that. And then you may say, hey, I don't understand. I know you know this stuff. Why can't you do this? Can they see what's on the board? Have you ever thought about that? Maybe they can't see what's on the board. Maybe they're dyslexic and you haven't even paid attention to, because you can't see what they see, so you can't see it, right? So you may not know that your child or that person that has it may not know, what it is, because they've always seen the same way their whole life. So they don't know that they see things differently than anybody else. You can't see what you can't see. You don't know that it looks odd to you. Food for thought, right? Maybe it isn't that they are not very intellectual, but do they have low self-esteem? So they rather sit when the teacher's asking questions, when the professor, says, well, Mr. Jones, tell us what I just explained in this theory. And Mr. Jones may know it from A to Z, could go pop, pop, pop. But because he doesn't have a lot of confidence, or he may have a speech impediment, or he speaks slowly or differently, or just not comfortable, he's either going to say he doesn't know the answer, or he's going to get up there and take so long until it's like, okay, is somebody going to help him out? You know how we like to do? We call on one student and they kind of look, and it's like, okay, can somebody want to help them out? Well, are we giving them enough time? They may have to get up their courage. They may have to take some breaths, because if I try to talk now, I'm gonna talk all over myself. I need to wait. It's right there. They've got it, but they need some assistance, some resources, and maybe trying to handle it. If you just join us, we are talking about, can you see? Because sometimes we don't see things. Sometimes, you take your child to the doctor and they'll say, oh, they should be at this milestone, but they're not. Okay, don't just conclude because the physician says they're not at that milestone that they're not going to reach it. They're not really at that milestone. I just don't want to do it. I go to the doctor. I don't know him. He's saying, touch your nose. I don't want to touch my nose for you. I might just do like this because I don't want to. So you cannot always go by what's being seen, what's being done. Can you see? Maybe not. So again, it could be some of those other things that I mentioned earlier, but we, get frazzled and, oh my goodness, because of what this physician has said, and may not be so. All right. Or the physician may say, touch your nose. And they think, okay, I know what a nose is. They want me to touch my nose. Well, the doctor might just say, touch your nose. But if they're in a different environment, someone might say it differently. Touch your nose. And they got their fingers and they're smiling and it's inviting. So they touch their nose. But you got somebody that you don't know that well, and they're in front of you, and they're telling you what to do, and they're not smiling. They say, touch your nose. You might freeze up and not do what they ask you to do either. So it always depends on all the circumstances. Everything has moving parts to it. Everything may not be as it seems. Okay? And one thing we always seem to forget, everyone is not the same. We were not made the same. We don't have the same hearing pitch. Our voices are different because I got like a whiny, pitchy voice, and it gets shrill and high. Some people have very soft voices. Some people speak very articulately. So it's all different. And, some people learn, we talked about this in, I think in August, some people learn visually by what they see. They want to see that stuff on the board. They want you to draw it out. They love those PowerPoints. Other people learn by auditory form. So they listen. Now they may have their heads down. They might be looking around, but they hear everything you're saying and they are understanding it. Some may read right. So you may say it. They hear you clearly. They can see you, but they have to write it down. So it doesn't matter. I spend a lot of time doing stuff because if someone is saying it to me, I'm writing it down, but then I have to go back and make sure that I understand my notes, that I wrote down what I intended to write down. And then if it's not making sense, then I might have to go back to them and say, hey, I was listening and I thought you said this, but is that what you said? Because I want to make sure it's clear. So I'm looking. When I study, I like to study what I can see, not by listening at a book or something like that. I need those notes. I need that hard copy book. Okay. So because we are different, we learn differently, we see differently, we think differently, we put things together differently. You ever been doing an icebreaker and some of these things are so crazy, they're so simple, but because some of us are very analytical, we look at it and it's just so simple. And if you really just looked at it, you get it like that. But because you are analytical, you're trying to analyze now, what could that really be? And then the person is just like having fun. And that's, they just, the way they do things, they just yell it out. And you're like, okay, yeah, I can see that. So, it's just that thing. But can you see? What are you seeing? It's also different. And so it can be funny. It can be aggravating. It can make somebody upset. All right, Mother Peacock says she's a visual learner. She's visual. So you can see that from that, we are different. She's visual. I got to have her read right. So it's all different. We learn differently. And but sometimes, like when you're doing something, it can get aggravating because you're like, well, why? When I say something and you got to try to analyze it. I'm speaking English. I said, I want a ham sandwich with cheese only. No mayo, no ketchup, no condiments. So you want the ham supreme, but you don't want, that's not what, just order it the way I said it. I want some bread, some ham, and some cheese. That's all I want. So you want, I would like to have a ham sandwich with some cheese. So y'all know it's not me because I wouldn't order the cheese, but I want that other stuff. So if I was going to order it for me, I'd say, I just want a ham sandwich and that's it. And they'd say, so you want some mayo? Nope. You want some lettuce and tomatoes? Well, I'll take some lettuce and tomatoes. So you want some ketchup with that? Nope. Mayo? Nope. Mustard? Nope. You just want a plain sandwich. I don't want it plain. I want some lettuce and tomatoes. So I need to tell them, you need to tell them what I said. I want a ham sandwich with lettuce and tomato. Get some salt and pepper on the side and I'll put it on there. So that I know that probably drives some people nuts. Like, why can't she just get it? And don't bring it back to me and they put that on there because I'm not going to eat it. Well, I'll get it off. No, you're not going to get anything off. I don't want it. So it can be aggravating to some people, but we're different. And that's why we have to tolerate people. We have to try and find out where people are, how people think, and so that we can get along with everybody, or most people, because we are supposed to be different. We're not all supposed to be alike. So when we're trying to do things and realize what's going on, you might have that student at school, and just because they're like this, the teacher may think, oh, they're not interested in learning. Now, why are they sitting there like that? But have you taken the opportunity to get to know that student? Yes, I know you have lots of students, but can you get past that's, let me see, the second period, he's first person in the second row, so that's this person. Who is this person? Y'all seen the commercial with a man, oh, this is my guy, this is my guy, yes, this is, but he never says his name because he don't even know the guy's name. So you know that student, you know their name, and that's all you know about them. Do you try to find out, are they from a single parent home? Do you find out if they have to work, where most of the students are doing extracurricular activities? This particular student has to have a job. He has to have a job. So it's not that he doesn't care. It's like, I'm interested, but I am so tired and sleepy because I did all my homework. I'm trying to keep up, but I have to work. So when I have to come to school. So I'm working at night, but you haven't tried to get to know that student. So try to get to find out about people and stop, this is what I see. I just see this lazy person. No, that's not what you're seeing. You haven't bothered to try to see what you're seeing. You can't see. All right. But, that's the difference in, someone that's just there and someone that's really trying to make a difference, and understanding that people have different circumstances and people are different. So you have to work with people. Then everyone's not on the same playing field. And what I mean by that, everybody does not have the same IQ. I talked earlier about everybody's not going to make A, B honor roll all the time. But you can have someone that has C's on their cards, but their IQ can be higher than that person that has an A, B honor roll, because they are so heavy with the knowledge that they have that they're here. That's what they're understanding, and that's what they're thinking. They're in a class that's down here, so they're bored. So they might, because I'm bored, I might get in a little mischief or whatever. And so then my grades may not be where they need to be because you're grading me on stuff. I'm really not paying attention to you because I know all that stuff. Or it could be, again, like I stated before, how they test. Everybody does not test well. You can have some people that are just brilliant, but when it comes down to taking that test, can't do it, can't recall that stuff. Study. Oh, you didn't study. You have to apply yourself. They did apply themselves. They studied. But when it comes down to taking that information and putting it on that paper, the way you're asking those questions, it's not working. It's not clicking. So you can't do that. And I think I talked about this earlier this month about, Einstein. And everybody says, some people says, well, the story is not 100% accurate. Some people say it's not true. However, it is said that he came home from school one day with a note and he gave it to his mom. It was from his teacher. And they said he asked his mom, what did the note say? And his mom told him, she looked at the note and they said she had tears in her eyes. And she told him that the note said that he was so smart that they just couldn't do anything with him at school. And so that she was just going to have to keep him home and teach him herself because they didn't have ability to teach him. So what do you think that made him feel like? That made him think positively. He thought, oh wow, hi Tanya. He was thinking, oh wow, I got it going on. I'm so smart. And so the more he thought he was smart, and the more his mom encouraged him, and the more his mom taught him, the smarter and smarter he got. And what did he end up doing? He ended up doing all these inventions. We got the light bulb, we got this, we got that. Because why? Because they told him he was so smart, his mom had to teach him. Well, they said after his mom died and he was going through her things, he found that letter from the teacher. And guess what? That was not what that letter said at all. The reason why his mom had tears in her eyes that day was because the letter from his teacher had stated that he was, and I can't remember the word, but they didn't call him a dummy, but they said he was not, he didn't have the efficiency to learn. He was deficient and he could not learn. And so they actually expelled him from school because they didn't think, he was just wasting his time and wasting their time by coming because he couldn't learn. Now, just think about it. Had his mom told him exactly what that teacher said, he would have thought, oh, I'm just dumb. I can't learn. And we might be sitting here in the dark now, but still with candles because he didn't keep learning and growing after the things that he could do based on someone that encouraged him. So that's why no matter if you got a F student in the house, a D student, a C student, a B student, or A student, you need to give them the same message when they leaving home. And I don't care if they 3 or they 23. Hey, I know you're smart. I know you can do anything you want to do. Do well today. Pray through everything. Just have an amazing day. I know you can do it. I'll see you when you get back. Be safe. When they come in, I know you did your best today. They come home and they got a B, they got a C. Oh, I saw you studying. I know you did your best. They probably threw some extra questions on there. But I know you studied, so you did your best. And that's all you can do, your best. And that's a true statement. You can only do your best. You can't do better than your best. Think about that. So encourage your children. Again, I said, whether they're 3, 23, 43, 53, always encourage them. Always tell them, hey, I love you. Love yourself. Be on it. Those things are so important. It can make the difference. See, Mother Peacock says, we have to be careful how we talk to our young people. We must encourage them and talk positive. Yes, 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 yes. Some people don't, Mother Peacock, I'm glad you said that because there's so many people that don't believe that. They think, oh, my child is just smart. I don't have to say that. Oh, they know I love them. They know this, they know that. You never know. Give them that hug and tell them. Never take it for granted that they know how you feel. You tell them how you feel. And if you look around you, sometimes you see that person that's always looking sad. They always got something negative. That's probably because that's all that they got. You see that statement that Mother Peacock said. Now I can tell who her child is because her child always, I don't care what the circumstance is, she always has something positive that she's going to pull out of whatever it is. She always has a smile on her face. She always knows how to work with anybody. I don't care where they coming from or where they are, what place they're in. She's able to work from them. So I can tell where that fruit came from, So it makes a huge difference. So if that's the only resource that you got out today, I hope you captured that one because that's a great resource to have. If you didn't learn anything else, that and they don't even have to be your children, they can be your spouse, someone in your household, someone that nobody ever says anything positive to, you can make a difference in their lives by just giving them a smile and saying, hey, I hope you do well today. I know you can. It makes a huge difference. So, all this stuff about resources, it is essential. It's important. So I can talk about this stuff all day long. But, as all these things I was talking about, sometimes there are things that are going on that we may not be aware of. So yes, that grade that could have been an A plus, it ended up being a B because that student may need glasses. And I'm not just talking about small kids, older kids. I think I had just graduated from high school. I didn't realize what I wasn't seeing till I went to the eye doctor and got my first pair of glasses and walked outside, and I was like, oh my goodness, I've been missing all this. Look at the little fringes on the leaves on the trees. I wasn't seeing all of that. So sometimes you can't see what you can't see. I'm telling you, you can't see what you can't see because you don't know what you're missing. So it is important. So you may not know that that child needs glasses. You may not know that they're not hearing well. You may not know that they're dyslexic because they don't know that they're seeing anything different than everybody else does. So sometimes you do have to go out and get those assessments done, those tests. Your children need those regular tests. Go out and get them done. Don't just sit and like, oh, they're going to be okay. The doctor's just trying to get money. You can't take that risk. When they get older, that's what they want to do. That's fine. But God has loaned them to you. So it is your responsibility to make sure that they're getting the care that they deserve. So get that testing done. And my youngest son, when he was the only child around, my mom kept him. She didn't make him talk. I didn't make him talk. He wanted something. He pointed. We gave it to him. He was 3. He wasn't saying any words. I could have just did anything. So, oh, that's just common. I wouldn't know. But I was like, nah, I see some other 3-year-olds. Nah, I don't think that's right. So I got him tested. Well, yes, because he's not around other children and y'all are not making him talk, then he doesn't have a pattern or anybody to follow. Took him to speech and hearing clinic. Please. He was talking like he was just, he could just talk so properly. But it made a difference. But I did get that testing done. So, don't be reluctant. Do what you need to do to get the help so that you can see what you can't see, because it can help a lot. And again, don't be afraid or ashamed to ask for help. Sometimes we don't know everything. We have new moms, we have young moms, we have moms that were raised in different environments. They don't know because no one taught them. So if they don't ask those questions or people don't step in to assist, then you got this thing that's going on and on and on. So that's why sometimes you got to break those generational curses. It helps when you either ask someone or someone can see that you need help and they step in. Mother Peacock says, pay attention to your children. If you are a teacher, pay close attention to your students. Get to know them the best that you can. Amen. Because if you know them, then it does make a difference. And that's just so true. And I hate to always give these examples, but my youngest grandson, he's having problems, and this teacher is like, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. And it's like, okay, this was the first day. And his parents was like, well, I don't think that. I said, well, y'all need to say something. Y'all got to speak up. Don't just, well, I don't know what to do any good because that's the only. Y'all need to speak up. Y'all got to say something. So they did. Went to a different class, and it was like one day he came home, and it was like he was just so sad, and it was like, well, what happened? And he wouldn't talk. He wouldn't tell them. But he was just and he's one of those, he's always like wired, and he wouldn't talk. And he went, and then they went to the daycare, to the owner, and they changed him. He got a new teacher. It was so different. Oh, I had a great day today. I had fun. I said, is your teacher happy? Yes. Is your teacher like you? Yes. It makes a difference. And our children have enough barriers and obstacles all around them that come naturally on a daily basis. Anything that we can deter or get in there and fix, parents, y'all got to get out there and fix it. Don't just sit home and say it'll work itself out or it'll be all right. Well, that's just kindergarten. No, you got to start early. And I'm not going to preach, so I'm going to leave that alone. But you have to step in and be there for your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, your neighbors, anybody that you know that parents may not speak up for them. You got to speak up. And I'm not just talking younger kids. I'm talking about our teenagers, our young adults. Some of them are too. They might have low self-esteem or be timid. You have to speak up for them. They need an advocate. So please, please, please do that. And thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope that you enjoyed this broadcast talking about those resources that we need in our blueprint. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is what I'm talking about. See, I like comments. Let me put it up here so y'all can see. Peacock says that yes, it makes a difference in how we set the atmosphere for our young ones and make a good environments for others. Amen. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Mother Peacock. I'm glad you're on here today. You make me feel good. So please, 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 you get these resources for whatever you're doing. It's for, everything. I mean, it's for pains, sickness, getting information about college, learning about different foods. You can just learn so much. Sometimes we just talk so much that we don't hear things that's going on. I was at a birthday party and I was just sitting listening to people talk, and this one mom was like, "Oh no, don't give him the red ones, don't give him the red Doritos. They got that red dye in it." And I never even thought about it, that all these foods have the different color dyes in it. So, you can learn so much from people, but sometimes we got to take that time to listen, and then we have to ask questions, because then that got me to asking questions. And I found out we got red dye and marshmallows, and I'm like, what? So it's just, there are so many things that we can learn, but we have to research things on our own. We have to ask for discernment and wisdom, and then we have to ask others, and we have to listen to people. We don't know it all. I know I don't. I'm speaking for Deborah. I don't know it all, and I want to learn. So when I say something, open my mouth, I know what I'm talking about. So thank you all for tuning in today. It was such a pleasure to see you. I think I saw my roommate on here. I saw Monica. How you doing, Monica? That's from 2019. I'm glad to see you on here. So thank you for tuning in. Make sure that you tune in Saturday morning for Saturday Morning Real. That's at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time and 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. My topic is going to be assigned. And believe it or not, that is the last topic for September in our Blueprint for Resources. Next month, we are going to be talking about the Blueprint for Well-Being. So stay tuned for some wonderful topics. And I got some exciting stuff going on next month, because I go on my mission trip next month to Freeport and Nassau. I'm so excited. And so I'm going to have a special week, the week of October the 7th, beginning on the 7th. I have some special Build Your Best Life Best broadcasts on here while I'm gone. So I will tell you more about that next week, but I hope that you will enjoy those. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Remember that we are declaring Jeremiah 29:11 over all of your lives, because God wants you to have what? Prosperity, and the future that you hope for. So please design your blueprint for success based on the plans that God has given you. Put in that work and build your best life. And remember, building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan. It's our commitment. I love you. Be blessed. Stay safe. And I will look for you on Saturday morning as we talk about a sign. Thank you. Have a blessed rest of your day. And y'all, please stay safe out there. And Helene, go away. Go away. Y'all are covered in the blood. Bye-bye.